Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Sue's Book Nook. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be attempting to repair a hardcover book. Something I've never done before. I actually searched on YouTube to see if there was any demonstration videos, and I did find a really good one. Actually, there's several. So I'm going to attempt to recreate that here for you today by repairing this book. It's a treasury of short stories. You might have seen this recently on one of my book hauls. This is a book I found at a little free library. And it's a collection of short stories for the past 100 years, so the 19th and 20th century, gathered from Europe and North America. And the one problem with the book is the spine has detached itself. It's still kind of detached at the back, as you can see, but the rest of it is completely peeled away. So you think, why can't I just glue that part right on there? Well, if you've ever looked at a hardcover, you'll notice there's actually a gap between the text block and the hardcover itself, because if you tried to open up a hardcover like that, picture a paperback book, it would crack, and that would be a lot, stiffer material. It's more likely to snap right in half. So what I'm attempting to do is recreate like one of these hinge attachments right here. Because one is still attached at the back, I'm going to recreate this part here. And so I found a really great video, like I said, and I'm going to go ahead and try and recreate it for you today. Now, before I get started on the actual attachment, I've got a little bit of work I got to do with the book. Because I don't know if you can see that there, someone attempted to do some repair before, and there's this kind of tape that they tried to stick it back together with. So I'm going to get rid of that first. And I tested a little bit. It's pretty dry tape, and most of it's just peeling right off, which would be nice. Now these pages are super, super thin, almost like Bible pages. So I have to be really careful not to tear anything too much. I think this tape might peel off some of the image below, so I'm going to have to trim this part here. Okay, that looks pretty good. So, got all the initial part done. So, let me go over some of the supplies you'll need. Obviously, a pair of scissors comes in handy. We're going to need some type of glue. Now, the video just said PVA glue, and I had no idea what that was, so I just Googled it, and they said something along the lines of Elmer's glue all is fine. You need a brush, and either like wax paper is really good, or you could use those comic book bags, just something to kind of lay in between the book when you're trying to keep glue off the pages and things like that. And then a bit of cloth. This is actually our makeshift little hinge that we're going to use. So first of all, I'm going to get my glue here, open up, make a little puddle. And the purpose of the wax strips is something to lay down within the spine of the book, so I'm not getting any glue directly on that spine. Now the cloth, like I said, is our makeshift hinge, and you want to cut a folded over piece the width of your spine. So you're going to kind of measure that, fold it over so it's doubled up here, and then cut that length. And you want it a little longer than the length of the book. So it's okay if it sticks out, we'll trim that off later. This is sort of just like a linen type material, nothing special. Just something kind of not too fuzzy, I think, is probably the best. And this is just a piece of cloth I had laying about the house, so that was perfect. Okay. So, as you can see, I have a folded over piece. This is the width of my spine. And it's actually going to sit inside the book with the point up. So you can see that there's the point up, and it's going to glue onto that surface there. Okay, so I need surface to work on. I just want to get glue all over my desk. So I'm going to get one side of the brush, add a little bit of glue, and paint it along the edge of my cloth. Doesn't quite want to drag across as easy as I had hoped. Maybe something a little bit more liquidy would be helpful. But then I guess you don't want it too liquidy that it spills out all over the book. It's been a long time since I worked with Elmer's glue. It might be better to paint this in an open position here. I get it on that other surface. So I've got glue on one side, so I'm literally just gluing one half of my little hinge here. I'm going to fold it back up again. And with this wax strip in here protecting the back of the spine. And to apply my little thing, remember the point side is up and the glue I have is facing the book here now. Okay. And now the back of this brush has a nice little flat surface I can use to kind of rub that down nice and smoothly. Just give it a bit of a test here and see that everything sort of folds back in. You can see it should fold right up on there. Okay, so can you see that, guys? It's see how this is the point up of the hinge? So it's a little V, upside down V. The glue is only on this side so far. So make sure that's nice and flat. And I can already see this piece of wax paper has got a little bit of glue on it, so it was good that it was there. It did catch a little bit. And I'm going to leave it in there while the whole thing sets. Again, I just want to flatten that down a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to close it up. So that's step one. We're going to go ahead and let that sit. So this has got the wax paper, a little bit of the cloth sticking out on both sides. Again, we'll trim that all down later on. So let that rest. Alright, so our glue has had time to dry now, so we're going to go ahead and open the book back up. I'm going to discard this little piece of wax paper I've had in the middle. And as you can see here, this one flap is glued down, and now I have the outer surface of the other part of the V here to glue down. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and trim off the excess on either end so it doesn't show beyond the book pages. And onto the front. Alright, so ready to apply glue to this other side. And I'm going to take my extra piece of wax paper and just put it on this facing page here so I don't get any glue on there, because my fingers are going to be touching this and getting a little messy. In fact, I'm going to put a little bit here right now just so I get the glue down. Okay, so I got my brush and my glue over here. I'm going to paint this outside edge. Too much there. A cloth nearby might come in handy. Alright, I have a nice coating on there. So now, what I want to do is I want to fold that cover back onto its proper place. To do that, I'm going to be handling these sticky edges a little bit. So I've still got the plastic here just to protect the page. Turn this a bit so you can see it. So I have to keep this down. Staying in there pretty nice and flat. Should be able to just lift that right up and over. Okay, so I get a good close along the edge. Okay. Seal that. And I'm just going to take the edge of my brush here, kind of press along the edge of the cover. Okay, now the only thing to do is wait and hopefully it sticks. Okay, well the glue has had plenty of time to dry, so let's go ahead and check it out. On the outside it looks really good. You don't see any of the repair unless you peel the thing back. It's nothing, no material visible sticking out. Go ahead and open it up. Looks pretty good. We've got some really delicate pages here. This page will need a little bit more repair, or maybe tape down, because it was already kind of torn a little bit off the beginning, but as you can see, it's staying on. So I'm quite happy with that, since this is the first time I've ever tried this. I do see one problem I might have done, and that would be something to know from the next time. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but you see a little bit of the material sticking out from between the crack there. So maybe I didn't push that down far enough, so like the top of that little V-shaped thing, it should have curved down a little bit further to stay below that level. It's a pretty big crack because it did take some pages with it as well. So I might be able to, I probably will want to anyway, reinforce that with some sort of tape. I believe on the video that I was watching it mentioned something called document tape. I don't know if that's some kind of special tape that works well on papers, or if it's just clear tape so you can see through, because I wouldn't want to like cover up the title page in any way, because there is sort of a pattern going around here. This is where the original tape was on here, and you can see a little bit of it missing. So if I were to put a piece of, like if it was like a opaque tape, then it would kind of cover that design up. So if it's a clear tape, I'll probably go ahead and use that just to sort of reinforce that a little bit more, but other than that, I mean, the binding's staying together. So all in all, a success, I'd say. Quite happy with that. So, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was an interesting experience for me as well. So I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.